Hello, everyone, and welcome to Gratitude Happy Hour. I'm Terry Angel. I have a very special guest with me today to discuss healing emotionally after trauma. And as I've discussed in prior shows, trauma can be many things. It can be illness, it can be an unexpected injury, or it can be a grief or a loss. So today we're going to continue our discussion on grief and loss. If you remember or you watched last week, I had Carol Ann Cross with me, and we had a wonderful discussion about from the loss of her daughter and what she went through and having to really heal that emotionally. Today, I have Dr. Ruth Anderson with me, and we're going to continue talking about how we heal after we've had a loss in our life. Nobody can give us the magic words to heal from that grief. And it is important to discuss the emotional side of it because many people who are caught up in, especially after a loss through death, it's very important to realize that what you're going through is not even about that person that passed. It's your experience. We're in a human form, and grief is all about that human side of us, isn't it?
You know, it really is, Terry. And as you were talking, I was thinking, and nobody else can tell you when you should be done grieving either, because it is such a personal process. It can take years, even when you think that you've got it all behind you. It can come up and just kind of bite you in the backside at the least opportune times.
Yeah, yeah, we have triggers. So when there's like a special date, an anniversary, a birthday, or hearing that person's name, or just a memory that pops up, then all of a sudden it's like it takes us back to the fact that we miss that person. And that's what the grief is all about. It's no longer having that person in the physical. The relationship with that person has changed.
Right. So I remember I was walking through TJ Maxx in October, and you know how they always have the next season up? And I walked through there and I was in the China department, and they had this platter that said Friendsgiving. So it was for Thanksgiving, obviously, it's October. And I saw it and I immediately I burst into tears. And I'm not one to cry in public. I was like a sniveling mess. And I sort of had to laugh at myself because it totally threw me off guard. But it reminded me of my best friend of 26 years who had passed away. And on Thanksgiving, she would come over and be my sous chef, and we would cook for 25, 28 people. And she passed away probably 6 years ago. Um, and I thought I had that pretty self contained. Like I could go months without even thinking of her, which sort of sounds awful, right? But that's how clear I thought I was of the grief. So to be drawn to my knees in a nanosecond was really kind of fascinating to me.
Right. Wow. Yeah. It sometimes it just does blindside you, and it's those times when we least expect it that it hits the hardest, I think.
I had no armor up.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And it's such a process because there's so many emotions attached to grief. And Carol and I last week we talked about the anger that happens. And again, that's our human side saying, I'm so mad that this has happened. I'm so upset that this person is no longer with me, and doing the blame game. God took that person and being angry at God. And that's where she was, until she worked through that and came to that realization that that was the path that her daughter was on. That was the path that she was on. It's not that anybody or anything is doing something to you. Death is a part of life and it happens. But there is that initial anger. Did you face that when your friend left?
I was just thinking about that. I wasn't angry. I was so sad that I couldn't fix it.
Mm-hmm.
In many ways, I couldn't even help her get comfortable. I would be working with the folks at the hospital or the folks in the nursing home, trying to make sure that they were brushing her teeth and giving her a shower and, maintaining dignity at that point. And it wasn't anger. And maybe it would have been healthier for me if it was anger, actually. But it was really just so sad that, here was this amazing woman, 75 years old, who had been teaching for almost 50 years. I mean, nobody could believe she just kept teaching and kept teaching. And everybody was wondering when she was going to retire. But a fabulous woman who had given her life for thousands and thousands of children and families, and we couldn't fix it. It was one of the saddest things.
Yeah, I get that. I get that deep sadness. Now, do you feel like that sadness was because you knew she wasn't going to be there? Or was the sadness about her?
We didn't know at the time. She had had a stroke and it left her paralyzed on half of her body. And she was in California, I was in Colorado, so I flew out to be with her. And the stroke was so much more severe than anybody, well, her brother had shared. She was completely incapacitated. So there was sadness about, holy cow, is this going to be her future? That someone has to feed her every meal. Not able at all to get around. I mean, so there was a lot of sadness about that. But we didn't realize that she had stomach cancer, and that's what triggered the stroke. So she passed away about 4 months after she had the stroke. And we didn't realize it until 2 weeks before she died that she had stomach cancer. So once the doctors found it, then it was really just, okay, how do we support her while she goes? So my role as caretaker changed and it shifted throughout her illness, and then preparing her for the passing, and then after the passing. So each of those roles that I took on came with its own set of emotions.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. So once she did pass, and then the real grief process starts, knowing that you're not going to be able to go visit her anymore. You're not going to be there to help. What were some of the things that you used to get you through those times?
Well, first, I'd like to tell you a story. So Sylvia died on February 15th. And February 16th, I'm driving across LA. I don't love the freeways in LA.
Right.
And I'm white knuckled as I'm driving because I have to get to the airport to fly home to be with my family. And I'm sobbing. I can hardly see the road. I'm crying that hard. And I'm saying everything I was thinking, Sylvia, I couldn't be there. I couldn't save you. I couldn't make you comfortable. And I just exploded in the car. And I was hoping that nobody was watching me from the
Right.
And as I'm going on and on, all of a sudden I heard something in the back seat. And I thought, okay, who's in the back seat? And I thought, okay, I think I'm probably going to die because there's obviously someone in the back seat. And so then, in my mind, I'm going, okay, where's the police department? Do I just pull over? What do I do? And I don't know why, but I looked in the rearview mirror. And what I saw in the rearview mirror was Sylvia in spirit with her husband, who had died about 4 years earlier. And he was looking so happy, and she was looking so exhausted. And I started laughing. So I was crying. And that was the moment that I really learned that there is life after life. I didn't even know I was intuitive before then. So to have that explosion of awakening and awareness happening in a nanosecond, I don't ever use that word. I've used it twice already. But just in that second, to have everything I thought I knew about life exploded, I had to rethink grief. How can I be grieving when she's right here? And not only that, I came home to Colorado. She didn't leave my house. She loved my dogs. And the dog would disappear. Jack would disappear. And I would find him in the living room sitting on the stairs. And he would never, ever leave us. But he's sitting on the third stair making these interesting sounds. And he's just being loved by her.
Oh.
So she really didn't leave me for probably, I think, about 4 months. She even helped me plan her ceremony of light. So I was sitting at my computer and, of course I'm crying, right? I'm looking at pictures of her, listening to possible music. And all of a sudden I heard, well, why are you looking at those pictures? Can't you find one of me without sunglasses on? Oh, okay. So she helped pick out every picture for her ceremony. She helped pick out the font and the color of the ink for the program. She helped pick out the music. I played Amazing Grace. I said, what do you think about this one? She said, is there a different version of that one? I said, okay, we'll keep looking. And then I played Old Rugged Cross. I said, what do you think about that? She goes, yes, we played that at Cliff's funeral. And okay, so she planned her ceremony of life. She picked the flowers. She picked the chocolate. She picked the speakers. She didn't leave me.
Right.
So I couldn't grieve. Did I grieve the fact that I couldn't call her? Well, not really, because I could talk to her.
Right.
I grieved the fact that I couldn't hold her. So that part I did miss. But she's still with me. When I need her, she's there. Sometimes I'm not even thinking about her and she pops in, So it just makes me look at life and love a completely different way. And, my father passed away 2 years ago. And I handled that so completely different because I knew he was going to be there with me. And I was with him, my sister and I were with him as he passed. It was late at night. It was about quarter after midnight. We stayed with him while they came and, took the body and stayed with mom and all of that stuff. Well, the next morning I thought, I have to get out of here. I have to get some fresh air. You can only be surrounded by death for so long. So I went over and ran an errand. So I'm at PetSmart. I don't know if any of you all have animals, but I do. So I was at PetSmart and it was snowing and the visibility was horrible. And I'm walking through the parking lot and I'm too close to the cars that are parked there. And all of a sudden this car puts on its backup lights. And I thought, okay, the worst thing that could happen to my family would be for me to be killed the day after my father dies. And I kind of laughed, but kind of not, because it was way too real for me. And I heard my dad say, Ruth? And I went, yes, Dad. I mean, it was just as if he was right next to me. He goes, Ruth? I said, yes, Dad. He goes, thank you. I said, you're welcome. And I said, you're talking to me, right? And he goes, yes. And he said, I love you. And I said, I love you. And my father has been around a lot. So just having that experience with Sylvia of understanding that there is life after life has really helped me understand and accept the role of death.
That is so beautiful. What a gift she gave you.
Absolutely.
It really opened up the world to you because we all have people in our life. And we're all going to face this. We're all going to face loss. We're all going to face our friends not being there as we know them. Like you said, there's life after this life, and we still can hear them very clearly. But what a gift to come to you in the midst of your really deep grief that you were in for her and bring you that comfort and that knowledge. That's absolutely beautiful. So many people don't get that. They're in their grief and the emotions get stuck in there because they can't let them out. They don't know how to let them out. And a lot of times friends don't even know how to help. They don't know. They're like, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. And I always tell people, just be there. You don't really have to say anything. Just being there. And that's what she did for you. She was just there. You felt her. Just like when we have somebody that's helping us, supporting us, we feel the energy. They don't have to say anything.
Right. Yeah. And one of my other friends, Denise, God bless her, she reached out. She had no idea what to say. And so she sort of didn't want to say it. I mean, she thought, if I don't know the right words to say, it's probably better for me to stay away, which of course isn't.
Right.
And she texted me and she said, I want to be there for you. I don't know what to say. And it was perfect.
Yeah.
Because of course, then I could say, no, you don't have to say anything. Just come over here. Just be here with me.
Right. Just hold me,
Right.
Let me know that I have the support. Yeah. But I think, and don't you think that's why many people have that stuck emotion, because they don't know how to release it and there's nobody supporting to say it's okay to cry. It's okay to scream into the pillow. It's okay to pound your fists when you have that loss that you're feeling and you feel lost.
Well, the other thing, Terry, that this does, it brings up everybody's fears about what death is.
Yes.
And if they come and support you, then they really have to think about what they think death is. Where sometimes if they can just sort of ignore that you're going through that, then they can ignore their own mortality.
Yes. Yes, that's true. That's very true, not having to look at it. The other thing is grief is not just about death.
Correct.
There's many losses that we have in life. There's separations. There's some people that are in our life and then for some reason or another, whether it's a move or it's a move away from the relationship, there's a separation and that's a loss. Things are no longer like they were. Even if it was a bad relationship, it's still a loss of the way things were. So it's not just death that we have to deal with the grief process, but that's the first thing we think of, isn't it, when we think of grief?
Well, it is. My mother has dementia. And so there's a loss there. Yes. And every day it's a new loss because I go in and she's worse than she was the day before. So it's just this constant whittling away, and my sister has back issues that she wasn't planning on having this time of her life.
Right.
And she had to retire and wasn't ready to. She was a nurse on medical missions to Peru and Rwanda, and she was in charge of bringing all the surgical supplies. I mean, this was what she wanted to do when she retired. She can't do that anymore. So she has had a huge loss. It was the death of who she was or who she thought she was. The scary thing for her, and she and I have talked about it, is she relied so much on who she thought she was in her body. Well, now that her body's not working with her, who is she as spirit?
Right.
That really hasn't been anything that she spent a whole lot of time thinking about. She's kind of at a loss. So I think for all of us in body, whose bodies are working well, I think it behooves us to spend time also thinking about who am I in spirit? Because at the end of the day, that's all we have.
Right. Yeah, it really is. It really is. This is just a temporary skin suit, as my friend Gerald Ann likes to call it. We're just borrowing this for a little while, and then we'll go on to whatever our next adventure is. So it really is important to look at that, at who are we really? What's not who am I in my job or what I do or in my family, but to really do that deep dive and look at what it means to be a spirit and what it means to get in touch with source, God, source, creator.
What a gift that we're given to be able to ask those questions.
Mm-hmm.
And to reach out to other people and get opinions and guidance. What a gift. I mean, somebody very close to me right now is going through kind of a crisis, not a physical crisis, but an emotional, spiritual crisis. And he is being given the opportunity, and he's only 60, given the opportunity to question and tear down who he thought he was to build up who he can become.
Mm-hmm.
And it's painful and it's scary. But yay, congratulations. What an awesome opportunity.
Yes, exactly. And that's the other side of the fire. I call it the fire when we're going through anything in our life that challenges us, that brings us to that point of looking at what is this all about anyway? And when you have those moments where you're maybe in the middle of the fire and it just seems so like nothing's ever going to be the same way it was before, then we have to decide, okay, am I going to stay down? Am I going to let this get the best of me? Or am I going to make it to the other side? And it really is our perspective and our motivation that gets us through. I've been knocked down a lot in this lifetime. I've had a lot of trauma. I've had a lot of loss. And every time it's like that song that I used to say that was my theme song. I get knocked down, but I get up again. It really does take that internal strength and really knowing who you are to get back up again. And there's many that, like I said, they have that stuck energy inside and they don't know how to get back up on their feet.
Right. Well, and it's perfectly acceptable to become someone else too.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to come back up in the same format that you went down, because there may be a reason you went down. Maybe those things that you thought were so important to you, those constructs may not serve you anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes. And it's my belief that you never come back up the same person. You really have to take inventory, like you said, and really look at what is this, and I stopped using why a long time ago, but I always ask now, what do I need to know from this? And to
Right.
me, that's more transformative than asking why, because there may not be a why.
That's right. That's right. My friend Linda Dirks, your friend too, Linda Dirks talks about rising like a phoenix from the ashes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. I feel like I'm that phoenix. Many, many times I have risen from that fire. And you're not the same. You can never be the same when you go through something like that. But knowing that spirit has our back, we can always count on angels. We can always count on God. When we just reach out, we have choices and we make decisions every day. And if we're going through that tough struggle, just ask for help, right? Just reach
Absolutely.
out.
You know, some people think if you love the angels, if you love Christ, know God, that bad things don't happen to you. And it's not true. Bad stuff just happens, but we know that we're not alone. We're not going through it alone. We are so supported. And it's what we learn from those experiences that matters.
Yeah, it absolutely is. Ruth, we've been working together for a little bit. And one of the things that has come about that collaboration is the angels, especially Archangel Raphael, has shown us an energy that is very transformative. And they showed me that today you and I are going to lead people in this transformative energy. I didn't like to use the word healing anymore because it's not a healing that needs to happen. It's clearing out some of that stuck energy, clearing out some of maybe even the old patterns. You know, when we go through things in our life, sometimes it feels like we're in a circle. We go through it and we end up at the same place. We go through something that maybe looks a little different, but it feels like the same energy. But here we are in the same place. So what has to happen is releasing those patterns, releasing the belief that it's always going to be the same, that you're always going to end up in that same place. So, would you take a moment and explain about what Archangel Raphael has given us? And then I would love it to follow their guidance, which has been for us to lead people in this method of just letting go of anything that might be stuck anywhere in the body, and letting go of that emotional side of having gone through something traumatic or something that was challenging for you.
Sure, happy to. So in December, Archangel Raphael shared with me, and then of course I shared it with Terry and Deb Goldberg immediately. Healing, well, at the time we were hearing like angelic gems, green emerald, healing gems. It is healing and clearing. And when we say healing, it's not just always bodily healing, right? I think people kind of get that mindset. So we'll talk about transformation because it absolutely is. What we were shown in the ethereal realm is emerald green gems, so sparkly. And what was so cool, when I was looking at them, I could tell there was something inside them, not like a Mexican jumping bean, but energy inside it. And I was absolutely transfixed with these gems. Archangel Raphael had us pick up, I don't know, can you see those? Had us pick up some glass gems. And he infused these glass gems. I've got a bowl of them. Terry's got a bowl of them. And they are symbolic of the healing energies that are in these gems. I'm using that in quotes, in the ethereal realm. And we can access those by meditating together and going through that experience. Now, he was pretty smart in the way that he shared the colors with us, because there are 12 different colors. Now, they're all green on the outside, but it's the gem, it's the energy inside the gems that have different colors to them. They all stand for something different. And each of those colors is represented by an archangel or divine mother or Christ or God. And we're learning about these gems all the time, but he keeps asking us to share about them. So we are doing that really every time we get the opportunity to. We're writing a booklet that's going to go along with gems that you can actually purchase to enjoy using on your own. Will be if interested in providing this kind of service to your own clients. So we're working on those together. So Terry, do you want to walk through it or you want me to walk through it?
Would you mind doing it?
Don't mind. I'm going to take a handful of them.
Okay.
Just because I can. So when I'm holding hoping my Wi-Fi is stable. So I've got 6 of these gems in my hand, and I'm just feeling the energy coming off of them. And if you are in a place where it's safe for you to close your eyes, please do that. We're just going to sit for a minute, just get a little grounded. Just take a deep breath in and release it. Take another deep breath in. See if you can feel Archangel Raphael's presence and Divine Mother and Archangel Michael. And release it. This is fun because I'm seeing all of the other archangels that are represented by the gems. Just to share a couple of the names so you can be feeling into if you can feel them in your presence. So now Archangel Michael, Divine Mother, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Metatron, Archangel Gabriel, Archangel Cassiel, Archangel Azrael, Archangel Uriel, Archangel Raziel, and Archangel Ariel. And as I said, they all represent a different color, and each of the different colors represents something else that it helps clear. So today, Terry was thinking that we might work with Archangel Azrael because the gems that he is attached to, they're black inside, and it helps release fears or uncertainty about death, as well as fear of trying new things. And the other one was with Archangel Raziel. They're yellow on the inside, and it releases energy from past lives, energy from past experiences, energy from DNA, or energy that's coming down the family lineage. And I'll give you an example of that. My family, my grandfather had this energy that came down with him, and it actually came with words. And the words were, "Your best is none too good." That energy came down through my father. That energy came down from my father to all 4 of us children. And working with these yellow gems has helped me to clear that family lineage. I didn't even understand it before, but I knew the impact of it. So there may be something in your life that has been passed down through the family lineage that you feel and don't know why you carry that with you. So Terry, I'm going to let you lead this next part of walking people through the platter and picking a gem.
Okay. Thank you, Ruth, for that explanation. So if you would, with your eyes still closed, just envision that bowl of gems in front of you. Ruth showed you what they look like. They're clear glass with a green color to them. And as you put your hand over the bowl of gems, pick the one that calls to you. And now after you've picked it up, just envision that you're placing it on your tongue. Take a deep breath in as you do so. And just sense what color is coming forth from that gem. Is it coming in with a streak of color? Is it like a puff of color? Just see what happens with that gem place there on your tongue. Also, as you feel the energy, feel which angel is working with you. And if you're not sure, you can ask. You can ask, are you Azrael? Are you Raziel? Or are you one of the other angels that has come forth? Now pay attention to that energy that's coming through your body at this moment. Where is it traveling to in your body? Be the observer. Watch where the energy goes. If there's a place inside where there's some stuck energy, or maybe there was a trauma in one part of your body, see if that energy of the gem is going right to that place to release anything that's holding you back from being your best and highest self. Is there some forgiveness that needs to be done? Feel into it. Forgiveness is only about you. It's not about anybody else. There's many people that need to have that energy of forgiveness about things that happened. Maybe you blamed someone else. Maybe you even blamed God, and that's okay, but don't stay there. Move past it with letting this energy bring you awareness, bring you forgiveness, bring you love. As the angel stands there with you while you do this inner work, ask what you need to know. What do I need to know from this experience? How can I release this energy that I want to let go of? I'm sensing that many are filling into that black gem, that energy of fear. Let's release that fear right now. Ask the angel to help you let go of it. Fear and love cannot reside in the same place at the same time. So if you're ready to let go of the fear, take a deep breath in, right into that place where you're feeling it. And just say, I release you. I'm letting you go. I don't need to hold on to you any longer. I'm feeling some confusion that's coming up from people. And maybe that confusion is a cloud of not understanding why things happen in your life, not understanding that we are affected in our timeline by our ancestors. The Native Americans believe that we are affected by our ancestors going back 7 generations. That's a lot of energy to carry in our DNA. So maybe if you're seeing that yellow energy traveling through you right now, it's clearing that energy. It's clearing anything that's being held there. Maybe you weren't even aware of it. It doesn't matter if you know your heritage or not. The energy is there. Ask the angel to help clear that energy and watch it as it travels upward and dissipates. We've found with these gems that whatever is needed when you go into that meditative state and you allow the energy to work inside of you, it does the work, it does the job. You don't have to do it. The angels are doing it. The only thing you have to do is allow. Allow and receive the love that they want to give you. So let's do another scan. Scan your body. See if you're feeling any heaviness in any part of your body. And if you are, just breathe right into it. And just say those words. I release you. I let you go with love. And we'll give just a moment for you to complete the scan of your body from head to toe. And then the last part of the healing, it's a transformative healing, is to add some gratitude in there. Gratitude for your journey, gratitude for the experiences that you have had in this lifetime. Because every experience has brought you to who you are right now. That person sitting in a chair or laying in a bed or standing somewhere, or maybe you're driving in a car or riding in a car. Hopefully you have your eyes open if you are driving. But just give gratitude. Just say a thank you right now to Archangel Raphael, first of all, for bringing this information forward and bringing this beautiful energy forward. Give some gratitude for Archangel Azrael and Archangel Raziel. Give gratitude for God, for Christ, for Divine Mother, for all the ascended masters that work with us to let us know that we are loved and we are spirit. And then give gratitude for yourself, for taking just a few moments out of your day to do something for you, to do something that brings you to a higher frequency, that brings you to a place of knowing that you can be okay in any situation, whatever struggle you go through, whatever trauma you go through, and the emotional aftermath. That you have survived, you've risen like that phoenix. And now it's time to take your joy back. So feel that joy in your heart. And then take a deep breath in and start becoming more aware of where you are in the room, of hearing these words that were spoken. And if you're watching this on social media, please just type in your response, your feedback. If you received anything from this, let us know. We really want to know because we care. And that's why we move forward. When we hear the messages, when we hear God, when we hear Divine Mother, we hear the angels say, here you go, do this. We do it because of love. And you are so loved. And I want you to feel that love right now. Just give yourself a hug. Tell yourself how wonderful you are, how amazing you are. Ruth, I want to thank you. Thank you for being here today. And thank you for hearing that call from Archangel Raphael. It's such a beautiful energy to work with. And as I'm feeling into the energy, I feel there were people that really did do some release. There were things that were packed away that weren't needed anymore. And as you pack those items, just leave them. You don't need to pick them back up again. Just leave them. Archangel Michael always has our back. So if you want to hand him a backpack or a suitcase, just give it to him. And you don't have to have it anymore.
Terry, can I share with you what I saw during
Yes.
that? So thank you. That was beautiful, by the way. So I saw the platter and I took one and I, ceremoniously put it on my tongue. And in my mind, I was thinking black and yellow because we'd been talking about black and yellow, and that wasn't it at all. It was orange and green. And orange is releasing stuck emotions, and green is bringing in the energies of spirit and the elementals. So it's kind of a surprise. But I also remembered we did this gem meditation yesterday on our day of healing. Deb Goldberg led us through it. And that's what I had seen being provided for the entire planet was the green and the white, or the green and the orange. So it was kind of cool to see it continuing again today. And they asked me to hold space, to hold the planet in my hand and hold space. Well, then I'm surrounded by all of the different archangels that are, part of this. And so as I'm holding space, I'm paying attention to the archangels. What are they doing? And Archangel Gabriel, who represents the orange, which is the releasing stuck emotions, got very, very busy, as did Archangel Cassiel, who is with the pink energy. And the pink energy releases grief and isolation. So those two archangels were busy, busy. So I know that there were people doing this gem meditation that were releasing emotions and grief.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ruth. Thank you. And yeah, I felt so much release happening. I really did. And I'm so glad, because that's anytime we can help anyone to move to a better place emotionally and spiritually, that makes me happy. It just really brings joy to me to know that we can facilitate something like that. And that's what it's all about. And that's gratitude. I'm so grateful. I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for the angels, and grateful for everyone who watched today. Thank you. Thank you for being here. This is a show that Enlightened World presents along with Angel Heart Radio. We're live streaming on both of those. And every Tuesday at 5 o'clock, we're going to be talking about emotions and really releasing some of those stuck energies. And every Tuesday, there will be a different exercise to help you and give you some tools. This is a tool you can use anytime you want. You can do this meditation. You can call in the angels. You can put that gem on your tongue and just let them work the magic. Let them work through you. So thank you for being here. Next week, Deb Goldberg is going to be joining me, and we're going to be talking about PTSD. So I'm very excited to have Deb with me to do that. And Deb is another part of Enlightened World Network. And tomorrow night, she has a show that Enlightened World presents. Ruth, do you want to tell about that for a moment?
So Deb is the presenter. I was going to say host, but she's really not. She's the presenter of Divine Relationship Recovery. And Deb is so brilliant in, not only is she a licensed therapist with all of those years of experience, but her relationship with Christ and with God is so, I was going to say grounded, but that's kind of a funny thing to say, isn't it? But it's so strong. And they teach her all the time. And she's written books about divine relationships, really how to look at your relationships and see them in a place of you being divine and that person being divine. And what does that mean? How does that work? So she is offering an amazing service. Folks can call in and speak with her on air about their relationship and ask questions about it. It's a really nice gift that she's sharing. It's a great show. I hope you all will come on to Enlightened World Network or Angel Heart Radio and check it out. Divine Relationship Recovery with Deb Goldberg.
Yes, it really is an amazing show. So tune in tomorrow, and that time is 5 o'clock, correct?
I think so.
Okay.
Yes, I think
Eastern time. That's Eastern time. So yes, please check out Deb. really amazing energy that she brings and knowledge. I love that. I love how she really shares from her heart, and she knows what she's talking about. And actually, I will be on with her tomorrow. So come join in the conversation with us then. And also, I will be back on Thursday for Gratitude Happy Hour, Thankful Thursday. This week, I have a special treat. I have a friend of mine. Her name is Sonia Artwell. She's a producer, and she's getting ready to have a wonderful play here in the area called Waking Kia. And we are going to talk about that play, and we're going to bring on the star of the play, who is from Nigeria. And they will explain to us what the play means to them, what the whole story of recovering after the Civil War and what that is all about. So join us on Thursday at 5 o'clock. I'll be with Karen Palmer as we introduce these two people to you. Thank you again for being here, everyone. I love you so much. I feel blessed and honored to come in to where you are and to share just my heart and my soul, and my friends like Ruth Anderson that bring so much to the table. And Ruth, we also have one more thing. Every Sunday, Enlightened World presents a silent meditation, Sundays at 10 o'clock Eastern Time. So we hope you'll join us for that. That's on Enlightened World Network. If you haven't liked Enlightened World Network yet, that page, go like it right now, and you'll get notified when we do all of this stuff. My show, Deb's show, the silent meditations, the meditations a day, every day that stream live through Enlightened World, and all of the other things. We have so much going on at Enlightened World, and we really want you to participate in whatever speaks to you, whatever calls out and says, I'd like to participate in that. Just go check it out, because we give from the heart, and it's all about sharing love and making that connection to each other through spirit. So thank you, Ruth. Thank you for being with me today. Thank you for sharing your time with me today. I appreciate you.
Well, I love you and I appreciate you. So thank you. Thanks for this opportunity.
You're welcome. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. And to anyone watching, have a great rest of your day or night, wherever you may be. And I'll see you on Thursday. Actually, I'll see you tomorrow with Deb Goldberg at 5 o'clock. Bye, everybody. Bye, Ruth.